Well, this event is the result of a particular weather phenomenon called Dana, and that is not unusual in this part of the world. It does happen quite regularly, probably 10 or more times a year. And what has happened is that there is very cold air at high altitude sitting over the Iberian Peninsula, over southeastern Spain. And warmer air has come in from the Mediterranean. And that warmer air has got lots of moisture. And as it's hit the land, it's been forced upward by the mountains, and then it encounters that very cold air above. And that has created a very, very unstable climate situation or weather situation. And it's resulted in very high altitude storm clouds with a lot of moisture, which has led to very high levels of rain. So it's not an unusual phenomenon, but obviously in this particular instance, it has resulted in quite catastrophic events, as we've seen. This particular event is not unprecedented in terms of the amount of rainfall. So we got 500 millimeters of rain in 8 hours, which is equivalent to 1 year's worth of rain for this region. Now, that's a huge amount of rain, and very few cities are designed to cope with that amount of rain in such a short period of time. But it's not unusual. In 1987, there was a record-breaking 817 millimeters of rain. So this event has to be put into context. So what is different about this event is that the significant loss of life, and that can be a factor of where the storm was situated at any particular moment, the topography, shaping the runoff, and whether or not particular towns and villages were literally in the way of any water coming down off the hillsides. What we do know from the science is that climate change is not likely to increase the frequency of storms, but it is likely to increase the intensity of those storms. Part of this is down to simple physics. Warmer air is able to hold more moisture, which leads to more rain. So for every 1 degree of temperature, the increase in the temperature of the air, it's expected that the air can hold 7% more moisture. So warmer air holds more moisture, which leads to more rain. It's a simple physics. But there are other factors to play here as well. The particular topography of the area where the rainfall hits can shape the intensity of the flood or the extremity of the flood and the amount of damage it causes. The air mass is also moving over the Mediterranean Sea. Now, this year, the Mediterranean Sea has been extremely hot. It's been record-breaking temperatures. Surface temperatures have been reached of 30 centigrade, which means that it's warmer than usual. So any air mass moving in off the Mediterranean will be able to pick up a little bit more energy and more moisture as a result. So there's a combination of factors on that side. Also, the climate change may be affecting the soils and vegetation in these areas. Spain, like many areas in the Mediterranean this year, has been experiencing extreme droughts and extreme temperatures. Now, this can lead to loss of vegetation. It can lead to baked soils. And that combination, when it rains, means there's less vegetation to stop the rainfall, and the soil cannot absorb the rain as it's coming down onto the soils, which means you get faster runoff. And the more runoff you get over a shorter period of time obviously adds to the extent of these floods.